So I worked on God of War for 10 years. One thing that I learned too over the years is there's so many different opportunities that sometimes you don't even know or realize.
You see 80% of it, and then the last 20% may come like as you're working on it.
Yeah.
But you train a lot as well. That's ultimately the most important, because you're just doing the art, that's not live itself.
Thank you guys for clicking on this episode. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, please consider liking and subscribing and commenting down below. It really does help out the channel. If you guys would like to learn more about drawing and painting and sketching, Rembert has courses on Proko.com called the Ultimate Sketching Course and Practical Perspective. He talks about all of the skills that he uses in his day-to-day professional work in these courses and goes in depth explaining anatomy, proportion, perspective, character design, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys would be interested in either of those, please consider checking out the links below in the description. All of your guys' support really does help us make more content like this, so thank you, and I hope to see you guys there.
I'm here with Raf Grassetti. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
We're at Monsterpalooza. You're here every year, right?
Every year, yeah. It's been almost a decade.
Where did you start? But you started with anatomy, like with humans, and then you went into monsters.
So probably like Monsterpalooza, even because I'm from Brazil, right? I grew up in Brazil. And Monsterpalooza was kind of the, like you look at online and you see all these creatures. Like I was wanted to be here. So even working with clay, that's how I started, like making clay statues, trying to dupe some monster stuff, but there's no industry down there for it.
Yeah.
But it was always kind of a goal of mine to like be here. I've always wanted to do creature stuff or more maquettes, not even like, because there's a lot of practical makeup stuff that's here. So more like little maquettes. And then when I transitioned to ZBrush, I started doing statues. So it kind of like it all worked out.
Right.
The stuff that I have here is more digital stuff. The first Monsterpalooza that I did, I was all traditional.
All right.
Yeah, so it's kind of just seeing, like I was talking to a friend that's been doing this for like 16 years. And it's just, it's funny to see how it transitioned like over the years to do more digital stuff now.
Yeah, did you drew first before sculpting, or did you go straight into to sculpting?
I was never like super talented with 2D. It was mostly like went straight into, I mean I still do some sketches for, ideation, but a lot of the stuff I just jump in either with clay or, now just ZBrush and then back and forth in Photoshop.
When you started, how old were you that you first had your Chavant or whatever? Is it just clay or?
I mean Play-Doh and stuff like that.
Play-Doh.
Since I was really young, like doing Pokemons, but I think 16 is when I got like
into anatomy. Is like, okay, now I'm gonna build an armature and then put all the clay on top and stuff.
There's a guy in Brazil that had an atelier that we used to go to, like learn how to do molds, just to kind of learn the process of resin and all that stuff. But then sculpting, like anatomy, is more like 16, 17 years old. Was
he the one that taught you that? Or?
For the mold stuff, yeah. And then there's this guy named Cicero, which is one of the few guys in Brazil that still do marbles sculpting.
Oh, really?
So I did a couple classes. Like translating the clay sketches into marble. It was like the whole process, right?
Did you ever try marble?
Yeah. But I mean, just like the beginnings of learning the process, because it's like 5 years for you to even touch a stone the way he used to teach.
So it's first clay,
anatomy, do busts, and then you start teaching how to translate into marble.
Did he teach you like true landmarks, the skeleton first, and you had to learn every bone by name and insertion and origin and stuff?
It's funny, not that much, because you saw with portrait, so it's a little bit like drawing where you just kind of learn the steps. You don't need to know all the muscles or anything, but like, building up the base with right proportions and then start cutting out the right shapes. And then once you have the solid form, you start adding features. So that was kind of the first year and a half was just that.
So basic shapes, it's like hips, torso, and how to connect all of that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like with drawing, like it's more with landmarks really. Like it's like, okay, here's your clavicle and you've got chromium and it's like, etc.
Very similar, yeah.
Because your anatomy is so good in all these, so I was wondering like what your approach is to like connect all the muscles with a flow and rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's because and you just have a basic shape and then you connect.
I think so,
the muscles to one another.
I feel like once you do it enough, it comes down to like a formula. Like once you find, at least for me, what works in terms of sculpting, like you always do, you cut the rib cage, you add shoulders, and you kind of know your proportions somewhat. But I think at the beginning it was a lot more just like memorizing the correct ratio and like how to. Digital makes it a little bit easier because you can move stuff around. But since I started with clay, you have to fail a lot just to like get good at understanding. You see guys like Simon Lee and like people who just like can just cough like a
it's like let's do some sketches. Yeah.
It's really hard. Like it takes time for sure.
Hey everyone, just doing a quick plug for my courses. We have a perspective course, an ultimate sketching course, where I go over my entire process, how I sketch and how I think about art. So if there's any interest in learning more about my process, please do check out the link below. It will take you to the Proco website. Thank you so much, and let's go back to the interview. Do you design sometimes on the fly like that as well, like he does?
For sure,
where you just take clay, or just like, I'm just gonna make something?
Yeah. I mean, definitely not as good as he is, but I think I can mess with it.
It's different. I wouldn't say it's better or worse. I think both of you are
yeah, I feel like I need a little more process than he does. Like when I try to do stuff just from, just like sketching right there, if I don't have at least like an idea or even like some thumbnails, I would struggle with just like making, making the right choice. Yeah. I always kind of keep changing, and then at some point I'm just like either not happy. So like having a solid idea and committing to it early on helps me a lot.
Yeah. Same in art. Like you see 80% of it, and then the last 20% may come like as you're working on it.
Yeah.
But you train a lot as well, so probably a lot of anatomy comes also from being at the gym. Maybe how they move. If an arm is up, then you know that the bicep is going up, and then the tricep is flattened. Try not to be creepy about it, but at the gym sometimes when someone is working out, then I look at how the muscle moves without looking too weird.
Yeah. Same. I think mostly
that's interesting.
Yeah. How do you perceive even the muscles in different poses? Like it kind of.
Because the anatomy makes things. Sometimes there's poses that are really tricky, like someone with their arm up. That's always when I want to be cruel and I want to know if someone knows anatomy. It's like I draw someone with their arm up, and then you can know it's like but it's pretty cruel to do.
It is tricky. We like all the insertions like under the armpit. So I worked on God of War for 10 years. I remember the beginnings of production with like Kratos. Like we were going for some anatomy model, like in just muscle deformations and stuff. Yeah. So we brought in like a bodybuilder, took a bunch of pictures and tried to understand different poses, and turn that into like shapes and all that, because we didn't have like a full-on muscle system. So it was all sculpted like from.
So how did the deformation? Yeah, that must be tricky, especially if an arm goes up. That is the trickiest part.
Like that knowledge just helped a lot, just to understand the muscles, because we didn't have, like I said, like we didn't have the under muscle structure to like deform correctly. So it was all putting in the pose, sculpting correct, and seeing how it kind of behaves, because there's also like the skin sliding as well on top of the muscles.
The muscles are under. So that's in 3D. I don't know a lot about 3D modeling. I'm more of the drawing side of things, but so the internal muscles that they deform and they move and stuff, and you have the skin like sliding over it. That's what you're saying. Yeah. And deformation is just if it pulls in a weird way that it starts to not look like appealing anymore.
Yeah, you see some like, even when you're starting and people are sculpting the muscles, and you kind of see the skin getting pulled, like even the bicep stuff, like skin getting pulled, but the skin stays the same, right? It's just the muscle underneath traveling. So being able to capture that in 3D without proper muscle system,
that's tricky.
Over the years, you kind of same thing for like blend shapes and all the facial deformation, like fact systems and all these things that behind the scenes, it's a lot of work.
Initially, when you concept the 3D art, you don't think about the rigging yet, because you're just purely thinking about the shapes. And afterwards you worry about the rigging, or at the start?
For games, most of the time we establish the rigs that we have, or the archetypes. And then at that point, you're working on top of existing rigs. So like even for creatures, there's only a certain amount of rigs that we can afford, at least for all the games that I worked on, because it's really expensive. You have to do all the locomotion for different rigs, and when it's just bipedal humans, it's you can do whatever if it's a human. But once you get into the realms of creatures and stuff,
especially if they have 6 legs or something. Then I guess really
like archetypes for sure.
So when to go back to Brazil, actually, I wanted to go like what was your first job in the US, and how did you get it? Like, because that's always a funny story for us. We are not from the US.
Yeah.
It always, for me, it felt like a dream it's like, that's too far, I can never go there. You know, sort of like the US, California, forget it.
Yeah.
So how did you actually, was it a festival recruiter or
No, no,
reach out online?
I mean, it was definitely different times back then because it's been a good 16 years, something like that, that I've been here. I started working just freelancing from Brazil. I'm sure like everybody starts that way. And I slowly built a portfolio and I got some offers back then that didn't quite work out because it wasn't enough to sponsor a visa. So then I ended up moving to Canada first.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Spent a year and a half in Montreal. So I worked at BioWare. It was very cold, yeah. And Sony, you know, was starting a studio or he was trying to start a studio in Brazil. That didn't quite work out because of Brazil's, you know, regulations or whatever. But I interviewed with the guy down there even before I moved to Canada. And then when I was in Canada, he actually made an offer for me to go to San Diego, come to the US.
Oh, you were first in San Diego?
Yeah.
So where at in San Diego? Like Miramar or like Miramar?
Yeah, that's where the Sony office is.
Okay.
So I worked there. Well, it all kind of worked out. Like I said, at different times. I think from Canada was easier to get the visa. So
because you first got the visa because US and Canada. Okay. Yeah.
So that kind of was way faster. Like, you know, the process that would take 6 months since I was in Canada was like a month and a half, 2 months.
Because if you were coming from Brazil, it would have taken a year.
You have to do a lot more paperwork. You have to prove out, because I came in with the 01.
Okay.
So it's kind of, you know how it is. Like you have to do all the interviews and awards and all that stuff.
Migration lawyers.
Yep. Yeah.
What
Thankfully, Sony did all that for me. So then when I came here, it was like from San Diego, I moved to Santa Monica for Santa Monica studio, and then I was there for like 10 years.
Quickly interjecting, a lot of you that are viewing this are not subscribed. It's a small thing you can do, and it really helps out the channel. So please subscribe and hit the bell for any future videos so it can help us create even more educational content and videos in the future. Thank you. So from Brazil to freelancing, then you got your job, the contract work. This first was contract work for the company, then they brought you to Canada, 01, to San Diego, and then to Santa Monica.
It was a journey for sure.
Yeah, that journey of how long till you were in Santa Monica was like 6 years?
Something like four and a half,
4.5 years,
Something like that.
Because it's interesting for people to know that if you're not, it's kind of tricky to get in the US, like especially now. I think for me at Riot, it took 2 years to get them to get the visa going. So
how long ago was that?
2016 I started for Riot, and in 2018 they got me into the States. But it took a while, and that's so it's not like you're gonna get hired immediately. And I mean, there are cases like that, but I think the more stories I hear, it's like you go around a little bit first.
Yeah, you definitely want like even in your case, I guess, you were working with them before?
Contract work. It was just like usually a day or two a week.
Yeah.
And then they went three days, and then full time for 6 months, and then extended it. And
I feel like back in the day, like it was hard to find like skilled people. So companies would like invest a lot easier in like talent.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's like so many.
There's so much.
There's a lot of people available. So for you to come from elsewhere, like you really need to stand out, or you need to be working with the company, because it's also hard to find talented people that fit. But yeah, it's like, you know, for the company to invest and spend the money and bring you, it takes long too, like at least 3 months. So it needs to, you know, really align with all the expectations. So anybody who can get in from, you know, abroad, I think it helps just to get one step in.
Did you ever, like, you're an art director now? So when you hire people that are really talented, do you usually like contract with them a little bit the same beforehand, like to see who this person is? So my question was more like, did you yourself, when you look at portfolios and when you hire them, do you usually do some contract work with them first, or?
I mean, it varies. Depends on what the company, what kind of spots are available.
Yeah.
Like we just had a couple full-time recs that open. So then you look at different types of portfolios.
Yeah.
Because then you're looking more of like, not just, you know, the final piece of work, is more about like their thought process, like what are they like, if they're going to be happy in the company, if that, you know, if the goals kind of align in terms of future, because you're investing in that person, if you want to bring into the team. So it's more of that process of like, okay, what has this person has done before? Does he work in the studio before? Does they even like to be in the studio? If it's more of a contract role, then it's more about just the quality of work, and it doesn't really matter as much about like past experiences and whatnot. It's just more like, hey, can you do this, you know, for usually 3 to 6 months? Can you just be fast and help us ship this thing, or, you know, help achieve the task? So it varies. Like often when we have full-time recs, it's just a lot more of that conversation, and interview takes a lot longer. Contracts, at least at Naughty Dog, is where I am now. It happens way fast. Like when I was at Santa Monica, it used to take a while because Sony
is like a whole machine.
The contract takes a long time, and then there's, even for a contract, you have to do this whole like background check, and you know, it's for if you're not in the US, then you have to go through companies that are not in the US to like even hire people. So it takes a while. So that all you have to take in consideration. Like if we need someone like as soon as possible, that's why if someone is here, even if they're not in the studio, just the fact that they're here, the process will go a lot faster. So we have to make those calls sometimes, just depending on what the project needs.
For me, like when I worked more with the animation, like they just looked at a demo reel for like 8 seconds, and they said, like the analogy with the Corvette earlier, it's like you don't need to stare at a Corvette for like a minute and realize it's a Corvette. Like usually portfolios are like, can do it or not. It's like, it's like in 5 seconds you see it, right? So
even with the style of the work, like sometimes we need people to do ideation. Maybe you need like the creative person just is going to come in, do a lot of sketches, help us brainstorm, and you can tell, you know, just by looking real fast at a portfolio if the person is right for that.
You don't like, because you have hundreds and hundreds that you have to go through, and then I have to say, I haven't been, when I did that at Riots, when we hired people, I was always just like the couple first images, like, okay, because there's so many, and I don't want to spend all day looking at portfolios because I got work to do as well afterwards.
You need a recruiter so usually we do a meeting with recruiting, just to be like, here's kind of what we're looking for. And, you know, you just trust a few recruiters that they're going to do a nice job. But more than often, it's like usually we get hundreds of applications, but sometimes the applications are just, or even the job offer in the website is just to fill the need of something. But more than often, it usually comes from someone that knows someone. Or,
it's more like I know someone that works there. Like I actually have never gotten a job in my career by applying on the website. It was always someone that recommended me, or somebody. I've heard of stories that people actually got jobs through the website, but maybe that's like very discouraging to hear. But I hear very seldom of people actually getting work through the website.
Usually I recommend, even from like friends of mine, like, yes, you should apply because you need your name in the system, but you should always try to reach out. Like if you know the person who's hiring, you know, try to find a mutual friend, or just reach out, and if it's a match, it's going to be a match. Like if it's not, you shouldn't be like pressuring the person to like hire me.
It's like, hey, spamming them on LinkedIn.
Every time say, see another role come up, like what about me, It's just more, either you show like progress of you working towards that goal, like either do works that are related to the company, because if you don't have that, it's just really hard to judge. Like even, I can, you know, start doing the job even if you're not there. I think that helps.
That's so interesting about you, because your work was so good that you didn't need to go to festivals and get like people that you actually know, because they just looked at you and they hired you as contract, and then they got you over.
Different times.
Different time. Well, you should. I'll give you more credit than that. It's you've always been really talented, like your earlier work and everything. So
appreciated.
So nowadays, because it is a different time, I would recommend people to actually go to places like this and meet people. I think the time that you just put up awesome portfolio online and expect to get work is, it probably still exists, but it's so much more smaller, because the internet is, like, that was at the time of CG Hub and stuff, if you remember that, way back.
Before ArtStation.
Before ArtStation, like, I think the people that wanted to work in this industry and that knew it existed, because now you have, I think when I started out, there wasn't a concept art school in Europe at all. That's why I studied animation. And in Brazil, like, there's no concept art, so traditional sculpting and stuff.
Even that, it was a gamble. Like I started with just advertising, doing ads and stuff, being in the studio. And this was before even ZBrush was out. And when ZBrush came out, that's opened more doors for game development in general. So it's kind of like more of a lucky in some ways. But to your point, like even when you come to these things, sometimes it's not even like meeting the people who are showing work. It's just the artists who are also here with the same goal.
Yeah.
Like you get to know other people from mutual friends and, start to create a little community.
Yeah.
And from one, like if someone get a job, like usually they'll bring you, pull you
Yeah.
with you. Yeah.
No, it's better to find people of your same age who are at the same point in their path.
Impact, yeah.
Because if you really start to try talking to like famous artists, whatever that means, they're grumpy, cynical, jaded. Anyway, they are somewhere completely else, and it's harder to grow together or communicate or expect something because they have a full-time job, they have families. But if you're a student, it's better to find other people that are. Yeah, I agree with that. Like the community that the little circle which Thierry was part of, and. But it's better to sort of grow together.
Definitely, yeah.
But you need like someone. For me, there was one person that gave me a chance. So you need that one person. And after you get your first job, and then it's easier to get more jobs after that. But it's landing that first one that is the most difficult.
Yeah. One thing that I learned too over the years is there's so many different opportunities that sometimes you don't even know or realize. Yeah. Like I know a lot of people, they're always aiming for like a Blizzard job or something that's like, oh, I want that, right? Like that's kind of the peak of the mountain. And in reality is that there's a lot of different types of opportunities. Like even this year, there's like YouTubers and like just more people doing like short films, like independent stuff. Like that's the stuff that I feel like you need some community to even be involved in, understanding that there's more opportunities than just, the studio job or. So I think that is super valuable just to even see how people are even getting to do that.
Because you went independent a lot too, right? Like you do a lot of stuff, you teach as well. Yeah. You sell your anatomy sculptures, and that's all on the side. So it's, as an artist, you can't expect to have just one source of income that is a job. You need to
totally, I mean, even for just fulfillment, like at the end of the day, the studio job is just your job. Yeah. Like that stuff that I do on my own time, like you do like your books and sketching, like that stuff. It's I think, even after all the years, that's kind of what you carry with you. Like after you're done in a project, you just jump to another project. This is another project. It's always this kind of like, it never ends. Like you think you're going to get some fulfillment by the end of it.
But I've had this title or this salary, I'm going to feel fulfillment. But probably the one thing you get the most fulfillment out is like, this is my own book, or this is my own, my line of sculptures, or You
don't look back and feel like you did stuff that you like put this stuff out there. Because the studio stuff is like, you get maybe a couple months of like, I did it, I'm on some time off, but then you're like right back at it. My name's in the
credits here.
Right back at it. It's like, it's not, I'm not trying to, obviously I think it's mostly the fun who you're working with, like the people who you're working with. At the end of
absolutely,
throughout the years, it's kind of what you carry with you. Like even here, there's a lot of coworkers that now are doing the show. It's like awesome to see, just building up that community and I guess inspiring more people to put their stuff out there and just don't rely too much on like the studio job. This is more the people who you're working with and making cool stuff, feeling that fulfillment that way in the school.
Mostly even if the card game that I worked on at Riot, which kind of like doesn't have a huge player count, but working on it was super fun. So it doesn't really. So that to me was one of a pleasant experience on working on it. It doesn't matter if the project is good or well. It just depends on like.
Totally.
Like you're 8-9 hours a day if you're crunching 10 or more in the studio. And then it's more about who you work with. So that is ultimately the most important because you're just doing the art. That's not live itself. I mean, it's very important. It's very fun, but. It's the people you work with, so I'm glad you pointed that out.
For sure.
So you got to be a pleasant person.
I've learned that throughout the years, for sure. Like, obviously, there's time that you need to be heads down and working, and like you need to be. If you're there, like at least I believe in this. If you're there, that you need to be committed to like being there. But it's not like there's moments, right? Like after you experience that, then you have to make time for your stuff. And just feel like you're progressing that way.
It's important. I think it also prevents burnout doing your own stuff. Because after a while, I was like, what am I doing? I have all these titles shipped, but I don't feel fulfilled, And your personal work will give that fulfillment.
Can't rely on the studio to like give you everything you want. It's also not their responsibility. Like, the studio needs to survive, and it is about, you know, at the end of the day, making a product. So when you can do, like, you saw some of the statues that I was making. That to me, when I make time to do it, it's like even before the show, I was like, I don't have time to do stuff. The last month, I was trying to put some stuff together, and I just reminded me like how good it feels to do that. So I just try to do more.
They look amazing. Is there a way that people can find those such, buy them online as well on your website?
Instagram is probably the best way to just Raf Grassetti. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this little chat.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I
love your
come
stuff.
up to
You already know it.
mutual admiration here.
Thank you.
Thank you.